get the offer.
We did
You
do
don't need
everybody
House
else,
Fire.
right?
You won't need that tonight.
Okay.
But you will need the old dice roller. It's partly because there shouldn't be any combat tonight, and partly because you can't get to it.
Shouldn't be.
If there is, if for some reason you cock up so badly that you get into a fight, then I'll load it up and I'll control her character for her.
Thank you.
Let's go everything online so they clear it down.
Here is Nattering, but can't do it.
So we have thank you, Pew. Yeah, waves. All waves. So you are tidy up. You're just busy at the moment, tidying up what's been given as your base. So your the place where you can operate out of now that you've cleared it of psychopaths. And it's while you're tidying it, and you've been working on it a few days. Where are you staying? Are you camping out, staying in a motel, just sleeping in the building? Crashed in, taking it in turns to use Cap's hammock in the back of the van.
The hammock.
The hammock. So,
that's a great
wherever
image.
you're staying, you've been staying on the cheap for a few days while you sort out things like sleeping
Bathroom,
mats,
toilet.
yeah, sleeping bags, toilets, yeah. There is a motel not far away, which you can get to within a couple of minutes, which you could stay on. You're probably staying at, to be fair, so you can at least still get hot showers and things like that. At the moment, the site doesn't have any electric or running water, but you have requested it off Dumrest, and he's organising for to have it all switched back on again. It's just taking a few days.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're up one morning, third or fourth day, and you come out to the motel to see Dumrest's car. His gold six-wheeled convertible sat outside the motel. Can you remember the name of the... Was it Jeeves? Did we call him Jeeves? I can't remember. The butler. Hey, Jay.
Yeah, well,
Was it Jeeves?
I think we called him Yves just for fun.
Jeeves. Yeah.
It was something like that. So he sat in the car. Dumrest is not with him, but when he sees one of you, whoever it is, come out of your motel room first, he steps out of the car and waits for you.
Is he holding the door
Thank you for
open
the
for
subs.
us?
No, he's just waiting to talk to whoever's come out of the motel. It doesn't matter who's first. I don't really care. Someone volunteer. Who would be first up?
I'll walk up to him.
He greets you. He's got a worried look on his face, but he still greets you a good morning, and asks if your colleagues are around. He's got Mr. Dumrest has got another job for you.
Okay. Do we need to come with you, or?
No, if you could meet us at Dumrest at your earliest convenience, have breakfast.
Okay.
But if you could come as soon as you've eaten, it would be appreciated.
All right. I'll let the others know.
And with that, he gets back into the car and drives off.
Okay. I go and wake everyone.
Most of them are probably awake anyway. Maybe the hacker who's not responding. When you bang on the door, she's not answering.
It's plugged in.
Yeah, possibly. And you can never trust Cap because he's the one with all the drugs. Okay, you gathered
Yeah.
as a group and told.
Tell everyone to get ready to go talk to Mr. Moneybags.
There he is, Mr. Dumrest himself, so people can see him.
Yeah, I
Played by Mel
forgot.
Gibson. Okay. Are you heading over in the van?
That's all we have,
Thank
right?
you for the gift sub. Yeah, I don't think you've got any other vehicles.
Yeah, because we
Uh,
left the gecko in the desert.
talking about that, I went through all the cyberpunk ones and I built a catalogue of purchasable vehicles. So, should you want them at some point? And this is what you've already got. Just a standard box van, a Columbus.
Can you put that in somewhere we can look at it?
Yeah, I'll share these at some point.
Okay.
So I'm working on a weapons one as well, but I haven't got the details for them yet.
Okay.
So it's going to be a work in progress. I just like being able to see what it is you're trying to buy.
Visualize.
Yeah.
I know what I'm saving up for.
Not that one yet. But, hey, Jules. Okay, so you get to Dumrests after having a quick breakfast. You're greeted at the door by Jeeves, who's waiting for you, and tells you that Dumrest is in the study waiting for you. You know where that is. You've been to his house a couple of times now.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's go there.
When you go into the study, Dumrest is pacing back and forth with a what looks like suppressed anger or at least irritation. And there's a young Hispanic woman sat on a chair with a handkerchief in her hands, obviously having recently been crying. Polly's invisible because she's AFK for a sec. So it must have done the ghost in the shell. Yeah, so as soon as he sees you, he says, you're here. Good. I have a job for you. It's going to require some discretion and probably some persuasion. I'm not expecting there to be danger pay for this one, but it is close to me. So this is Consuela. She's my housekeeper. Her sister was found murdered yesterday,
Oh dear.
and I need someone to find out what happened. I need you to figure out what happened, and if required, bring them to justice. Thank you for the gift subs, honey.
What does justice look like?
Whatever you feel is appropriate. I can tell you the law are
Sorry, I'm back.
investigating, but the law around here ain't very... Okay, let me start again. Consuela and Esmeralda live in the Flux. And the Flux is... It's a rundown area. It's not
Okay.
where wealthy... It's where the working class, if working at all, it's where those people live. Very gang-orientated. Lots of crime. And because the murder happened there, despite the fact that it looks like a serial killer, the police won't be investigating this because they just don't care what happens in the Flux.
Of course
Okay.
not. They never do.
Great.
No matter whether it's a big city or somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really pay much attention to what goes on in the Flux, but this is obviously now personal to me, and I need a team I can rely on to find out what's going on and sort it.
Okay. Do we have any other information?
Yeah.
He
I'm
hands you.
Definitely in, but we need to know all there is, especially if it seems to be a serial killer. Why do we think that?
He hands you a digital sheet with like a neon, it's floppy, but it looks like a monitor, and it's a news article.
It's floppy.
Which he hands you. And give me a second. I will put this in the RPG chat for you so that you can. Yeah, when you found him.
Okay, got it.
So it's on. Obviously, it's on the screen for the people to read.
like
But
how
I
you've done
stuck
that.
it.
Donald Trump died 54 years ago today, and the world is still glad to be rid of him.
I needed to fill the space with other headlines, but that was it was Saddam Hussein, but it was a direct quote from South Park. Okay. So, can you all read that? Can you see the image in RPG chat? You probably see, because you'll be able to zoom in and see it better.
Mm-hmm.
I've got it, yeah.
Okay. So, he tells you that there has been that Esmeralda, Consuela's sister, is the 5th victim so far, but the murders are well spread out. There's been 5, but it's been over a year.
Okay.
Spread out over a year. He does have a data terminal in his house that you can access the previous articles should you want to read them.
Clean single cut, like very sharp
Mantis
sword
blades.
knife, or like monofilament cut.
Doesn't say.
And the body was already taken to coroner.
This article is dated 3 months ago.
No, but I'm asking.
Okay.
Yeah, but the body right now,
Yeah.
the latest.
Yes. The latest Esmeralda has already been taken to the coroner's office for the county sheriff's office.
Okay.
Bears! Hi!
In fact, the county sheriff is mentioned in a couple of articles on this page. Colton Ricks, his name is. Hey, Bears. So, have you read on, caught up on it? Any questions? There are obviously, I haven't designed it all, but there are, you can click on these and you get more details, but I haven't written all that. So, I'll be making that shit up.
You can click on what?
These are headlines, so it's like a digital newspaper, so you can click on them and you get the full article for any of these links.
It's just an image. Nice. What?
Oh, I meant in-game.
Oh,
I didn't mean in real life. It's just an image.
I was like, what? How am I supposed to?
I haven't
get
got
more?
that sort of technology. Jeez. But in-game, if you clicked on it, you'd get like full articles appear on the sheet that you're holding.
I'm offended. I don't look anything like that guy in the picture.
Yeah, you do.
Stealing my credit. I mean, what's up with this guy killing people?
In case you're wondering, Pahrump Valley Times is a real newspaper, and I took the header straight off it. If you went onto their website, you see the same thing.
Nice.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they probably don't watch Twitch, so.
Doubtful.
Hey, you'll be surprised.
Ooh. So yes, any questions?
No.
No.
Not really right now. We need to figure out more information on our own, probably.
How much is he offering us to figure this out?
If you can figure it out before the police, I'll give you a £3,000 bonus. So 5 plus 3 is a bonus. So I'll give you 8. If you can bring this killer to justice before the so-called authorities get their hands on him.
Okay, so don't turn him into the authorities. Just, vigilante style.
If you want,
Disappear
if
him
you
if you
want
have
us,
to.
if
Okay,
you want
just-
us to kill him, then we want at least 10.
Make a... what's the role? I can't remember. Was it empathy? Empathy.
Fast
Make
talk.
an empathy roll.
Oh,
Me?
Pew, because she's the one who said it.
Talk.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, fast talk is talking someone into something.
okay.
Whereas empathy is negotiating with someone. So
But I was going to
it's a fine line between the two. But yeah, you don't really want to pull the wool over Dumrest's eyes because you may well rely on him for further work. Whereas you can
We're just
negotiate
gonna-
with him. That's different.
offer, keeping him alive in a lot of pain for 100 for every hour. You know,
Yeah, he's not interested in that.
what kind of medic am I?
A skilled one.
So, I can't
Very
remember.
skilled.
A cynical one.
All
I'm
right,
jaded.
which one did I need? Empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah, I only have 15, so I failed that.
Yeah. So you
I
suggest
need to
it,
do
and
this
he
as
just
well.
he looks at you with one of those looks that says, "No."
No.
Oh, fine.
It's 8 for all of us.
That's 8. Yeah, 8 for the job.
Okay.
Any of
You know,
you are
it's
not
really
comfortable
hard.
with it, walk away now.
See you later.
What?
Just gonna grab a big drink though.
Okay, end stream, I guess then.
What if he has a legitimate excuse for killing people? Like they were all miserably bad people who killed kittens.
Well, figure
Well,
that out. But
you
I'm
think-
pretty sure Consuela here wouldn't think that about her sister.
Exactly.
Is there any technology that I can hack into?
Probably. Lots of it. Depends what you're
Maybe
after.
maybe there are cameras there if we go to the site where it happened, and then maybe there's something on the cameras.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
and
think we
any
should-
news reports you can find that maybe have more information about this. Or any other
Okay.
reports, police, if you can get in there. I'm not sure how
Well,
good they are
those-
here.
Those you don't need to hack because they would be in the public domain. So, Pockets, give me a computer roll. Computer use roll.
What is it? RD 100.
Exclamation
Exclamation mark R
space.
space 1D100.
55. And my what am I doing? Computer use.
Computers, yeah.
Yeah, I've passed that. Flying.
I believe I can
Oh.
fly.
I'll say. So, you find from actually a year ago, almost to the day, an article talking about the murder of a girl called Gail Ang. She was found in an abandoned building in the Flux. She was found decapitated and stabbed several times.
Okay.
Then there's a follow-on article about the murder of another girl called Trixie Buenavista, found in a dumpster behind the Family Dollar store. Same condition as before. This article mentions, is this a serial? Because the body was found in the same condition. And
Yep.
it also mentions that Sheriff Colton Ricks is investigating. But when asked for a comment, declined to provide one.
Right.
You find a third article that about the murder of a girl called Tina Corleone, found in a dumpster off a trailer park in the Flux. Third victim in 9 months. And this article is the first use of the name the Flux Phantom. The media label this killer the Flux Phantom. Article 4 talks about someone called Laszlo Dane, and is he the Flux Phantom? And the police brought him in for questioning, but there's no mention of what the results of that line of questioning was.
Can I hack
And then
into the
Article
police
5
system to find
is the
out?
one you've got in your hands.
Can we get photos of all the victims?
They're all women.
Possibly. The news article. Anybody would think, I planned for this in case you asked. So this is Gail Lang. Know when you've seen it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this was victim 2, Trixie Buenavista.
Okay.
Victim 3. Hey, Pew. This is Tina Corleone.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a picture in the article of Danny Dooley. Girl on the left.
Yep.
And then there's no article about it yet because it hasn't hit the press yet. But Dumrest takes a photo of Consuela's sister Esmeralda off Consuela and hands it to you. And that's it. That's Esmeralda.
Oh, she's scary.
Terminator.
So, all women, all about the same age group?
Look it.
Yeah, no ages are given in the articles, but yes, they're of a similar age by the look of it. In answer to your earlier question, the police will have records. Potentially, you could hack them. But you wouldn't be able to do it from outside their network. You'd have to be in there.
In the station.
Or in one of their locations that was on their subnet.
Can we find one of those? Is there anywhere close?
Dumrest doesn't know of any, but there are people you can ask for that sort of information. In fact, you've got there's a fixer that you obviously Red knows quite well called Ralphie. He might be able to help you with that sort of information. It would come with a cost.
Okay.
What do we know about the sheriff, or can find out about the sheriff? Because there is another article here about a case against the sheriff.
Okay, so that, when you open it, that refers to a case that was brought against the Sheriff Colton Ricks on 2 counts, for abuse of power and for physical abuse against prisoners. It was dismissed for lack of evidence the first time round. The article is talking about how the lawyer potentially has more evidence now, and is going to look at bringing the case, refiling the case. Because it never went to trial, it doesn't have the double jeopardy. So he can essentially refile it in the hopes that it will go to trial this time. And that's what the article's talking about. The other article is that they are elected officials, and he's in an election against his deputy, or one of his deputies, but he's leading heavily in the polls. That's one of the other
Okay.
articles there.
Okay. What is the public opinion about him that we can ask Consuela and yeah, everyone who's around? Is it
Well,
likely
Consuela,
that he? Yeah.
what was you saying?
Yeah, is it likely that he actually is corrupt and abusing people that are imprisoned and if he is corrupt,
Consuela doesn't know. She does know, though, the police, they don't bother coming into the flux. So they have almost no contact with them. Dumarest's opinion of Colton Ricks is he's met him personally on several occasions and thinks he's a buffoon.
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 okay.
But he is generally well liked by the more middle class or well-to-do, as you can see by the polls, because his election results are strong. Or the polling is at the moment.
So he protects them, most
So he's
likely.
popular, at least amongst the groups with influence.
Sounds corrupt.
Okay. So that's all you find online. That's all public information you found. All from the Prump Valley Times. You just had to dig around in their archives, in their online archives, to find these articles. So Domress says, I'm assuming then you're taking the job.
Yes.
We can give it a go.
Keep me updated. If you find something useful, keep me updated. But if you find him and you end it, I don't need to know. Just tell me you've invested. The investigation is over. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
Do you need to know the identity if we find out? Nothing? Okay.
No, not interested. The less I know, the better. I just need to know when you've completed your investigation so I can arrange payment.
Okay.
So, and with that, he asked Jeeves to take Consuela home, make sure she gets home safe. And they
Yeah,
leave.
we asked you.
With her lemon pledge.
Yeah,
Does Consuela live in the flux as well?
he does.
Is it safe for her
She
there?
lived with her sister. She lives with her sister, right? What did you say?
Is it safe for her to go there and back to the place where her
The flux
sister
is never
is
safe, but
killed?
it's safe for people who live there than it is for people who visit.
Yeah.
Great.
I assume I'm familiar with regions like that.
Yeah, I mean there are slums in definitely slums in Sin City.
Yeah.
You're not familiar with the flux. None of you have been there.
Yeah,
In fact, this is the
but
first
with the
time you've heard of
general
it.
principle.
But yeah, exactly. It will be run by gangs, possibly a criminal organisation, depending on how organised it is. But
Well, let's see if Ralphie knows anything or can us help get information about from the coroners or anything. Get us in somewhere.
well, Ralphie, you've got his contact details, so you can either ring or visit. You can either go to Cybergasm to meet him there, or you can try contacting him.
Yeah, what does the rest of you think?
Mm,
You can meet
I don't
him
know. I'm
there, I
maybe
suppose.
being paranoid, but maybe it's better to go there than call and someone's on watching, like listening to the line
Yeah.
or something.
So I'm thinking. Or can we guarantee a secure line?
You certainly know where he works out of because he works out of a booth in the nightclub. So
We'll go there then. We'll
Yeah.
go to him.
Then let's
Yeah.
go there.
Is he there right now though? It's morning.
He doesn't really sleep. He's if the club's open, he'll be there.
Okay.
Red can tell you that. He's one of those people. His entire livelihood is based on being contactable and being able to contact.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you still with us?
She's having a poop.
Okay.
Sorry.
I haven't had Grim for a while, and I'm getting worried about him. He doesn't answer for long periods now, and I wonder if he's dead.
Me?
Grim, you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you.
here.
Thank you, you did.
I'm here.
Come on.
I messaged him that in the week and said, "You better not be dead. You still have a Threadripper I want."
It's in my will.
So, you're heading to Cybergasm then.
Mhm.
Such a fun name.
I'm proud of it, I have to say. A
Cybergasm.
great name for a club in a cyberpunk universe.
Yep.
Okay, so you get there. You arrive, and they're currently serving breakfast buffet.
Ooh.
Lovely.
Yeah, so
I go for a mimosa.
but because it's not that busy that time of day, certainly nobody wants all the exotic dancers. They're holographic dancers rather than real life ones. They don't start until the evening.
And you get like BDs there as well. I'm guessing.
You can get, well, yes, but there's some difference between legal and illegal brain dances. Legal ones are just like hiring a movie.
Mhm.
They're just more interactive.
They have back rooms, right?
Yeah, they do. When you arrive, you go. You ask the barman, who we did give a name to, didn't we? You guys decided on the barman.
Did we?
Yeah, but I can't remember what we called him.
Bob. Bob the barman.
I can't
No,
remember
he
who it
wasn't a
Was it
Bob.
Morgan Freeman?
I think
Yeah.
yes, it was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So you ask Morgan, the barman, and he tells you Ralph is in his booth. You can go and see him. He's not with anyone at the moment. But who's taking lead? Red, you know him best.
Yeah, then probably me.
So he greets you in his sort of French accent that is maybe not even real French accent, and
Most
says,
likely
"Good morning.
not.
What are you doing in the club at this time of day?"
We might need some
Pooping.
information.
I need a poop, so I've come over.
We might need some information for a job we got, and well, you are the person I know here who might be able to help us with that.
Well, information I have. If you've got the price for it. So, what is it you need to know? Take a seat. And he waits. He holds his finger up so you don't chat for a second until you're all seated. Then he presses a button for a device on the desk that electronically masks, stops. What's the word? Eavesdropping.
Okay.
And then once he sees a green light appear on his little device, he then says, "Okay."
Are we
what is it
all
you need
in
to
the
know?
booth? All
It's
of
big
us in
enough.
the
I mean,
booth?
it's like a big round table. You could fit probably 12 people round it, and it's in a big, like a horseshoe, a big round settee area with a circular table in the centre.
Okay.
So there's room for you. He's got one of his bodyguards sat next to him, who's a dolled up, chromed woman in a mini skirt and a boob tube, who's just sharpening her metal nails. But she's not paying any attention to you at all.
Okay. That's good.
Can we see out of the booth?
Excuse me.
Yeah. It's
Okay. And I
it's
keep an
not
eye out
curtained
like
off or anything.
to the outside as well to see what's going on outside while I listen.
Like, it's fairly empty. There are a few patrons there, but they're mostly just eating up at the buffet.
Yeah, just making sure.
Okay, so Ralphie asks you what the problem is. What is it you need to know?
Yeah, we need to get a bit more information about the Flux Phantom and how it kills. Decapitation can happen in various ways, and so we know what we are looking for in a person.
Well, word on the street is that it's clean. It's someone who knows what they're doing. Someone nobody knows who it is.
So we could be looking at what, some form of medical professional person shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Possibly, I don't know. I don't have the details. The sheriff's department do, but you'd need to get into their records to know for sure. I can tell you that their investigation is active, which means their records will be sealed.
Yeah, because a clean cut can be done by a sword or by monofilament, and it will look completely different.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a bit scary that Red knows this.
I'm almost leader of a gang in Sin City. I have probably dealt with people using all kind of cyber work to cause violence.
Yeah.
Maybe one of their tech implants failed, you know. Maybe they had their head attached by... Never mind.
They lost their head.
Right,
So-
rock'em sock'em robots, you know.
Yeah. So, that's as much as I
need
can
to go
tell
sort
you.
my kids out. They're just being pains in the asses. They're fighting upstairs.
Go on, then
not
go
having
kick
it.
some ass.
Head in a jar.
You know
No,
of anywhere that belongs to the police where it's not too complicated to get into if we wanted to get to that information?
Access to their subnet.
Yeah.
I don't, but I can find out.
Because we are pretty new here, as you know, and we don't know much about the lay of the land. So I'd
That should
rather
be
not
easy
try
enough.
to break into a police-owned place that's full of police officers.
Do you
I
know
can
of
get
any
you that
cops that
information.
are on the tank? Are there any cops on the take? You know, dirty cops that would sell the information to us.
Potentially. Again, I'd have to ask around. I try to stay away from them whenever possible.
Yeah, yeah.
You're under arrest for...
Yeah, so if you want to know the locations that have access to their subnet, it'll only charge you $100 for it. But if you want the information today, it'll cost you $250.
I don't have the coin purse. No one trusts me with the money.
Well, I do still have some money.
I have money.
I have zeros. No one gave me my cut.
Yeah, the faster the better.
What, the cut for
The
what?
upgrades on the house.
We haven't used those yet, have we? No.
I don't think so. I mean, I know Red marked hers off because she decided immediately what she was buying. So
How much did we give? 2,000, right? Or how much was it?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It was $1,000 each. I think you ended up with.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was 5 all in. So you ended up with $1,000 each from the waterworks mission.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm assuming one of you is paying him then. So mark it off. You do a straight credit to credit transfer. And he
I'm
tells
really
you,
sorry.
"All right,
I'm gonna have to go.
okay.
No.
Your kids
Hurting?
Kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
put the shock collars on them.
I wish. Be nice.
All right, Polly.
Can I just be cleaning at base or something for tonight?
Yeah.
Cleaning up the house.
Yeah, cleaning up the house. Sorry. I'll
No
try
problem.
and
Speak
if
to
I
you
can
later.
jump back in a bit, I'll try to.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feel better.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Okay. So, yeah. So you pay the cash. It tells you give him a couple of hours. You should have the information you need. Can he contact you on your comm link to let you know
Yeah,
when he's
sure.
got it? Okay. So you've got a little bit of time to kill. What are you doing with it?
Looking around where the last victim was found.
I want a sandwich.
Can we have some
Have a
food at the
buffet while you're
buffet
there.
first? Yeah.
I mean, we haven't eaten in a while.
It's $10 for all you can eat.
It's probably
Oh.
better than what the motel has. Stale toast and
Right.
off cheese.
Alright, I'm back.
There's no
Welcome
cannibals
back,
or
Pip.
anything here.
Did Polly leave?
In the kitchen.
Yeah, kids.
Kids are acting up, so she's got to go and sort them out.
Okay.
She said
I
she
got
might
Does
be back.
anybody still have a computer use?
I got ice cream.
36 computer use.
Let me
You
see
can
what I
still
got.
use Polly for that, but it would involve you communicating with her and her doing the work remotely. So
84
Okay.
computer use.
Can we be connected remotely?
I only have
Yeah, yeah.
25.
And you have her sheet, right? Can we do that?
Can we just use because you have 84 Cap, isn't that high enough?
84?
Cap doesn't have a
84
high
is-
computer use.
I do.
No, that's
Very
Polly.
high.
It's got the really high computer use.
Well, I
So,
got
but you
84,
can still
so
I was gonna say
use her
84
as a
is quite
resource,
high.
but I will limit how much you can use her depending on whether you're getting a character into trouble without her being able to make a decision for herself. So
high just using Delbert.
she can go and park herself somewhere with an internet connection and a firewall and be doing research remotely as you feed her information.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, she can work from Cybergasm because they have booths you can hire for that reason with data terminals.
Oh, I bet she can work on Cybergasm.
Okay, then she can stay at Cybergasm and enjoy the buffet.
So you fill your faces with breakfast burritos and
mimosas.
yeah. By the time you've eaten, Ralphie just comes over to you and says, "I've got the information you need." Nice.
Okay, what's the information that he has?
He just hands you a little data chip, a low capacity data chip, which details a couple of sites. There's the sheriff's office. There's the county jail, the prison, the Prompt prison, the courthouse, the coroner's office, and there is an off-site storage unit, like an evidence storage unit. So those 6 places are all on the sheriff's subnet, the county sheriff's subnet.
Okay, does it come with information about how many people usually are there in, unless there is a reason for more to go? Like regularly
No, but just
stationed?
addresses.
Just addresses, okay.
You can pull the addresses up on a data terminal of the city, bring up like a tourist map, essentially Google Maps. You bring up Google Maps of the city, and they're all centrally located with the exception of the evidence storage, which is to the south, in the south end of the city.
in my experience, how heavily would be evidence storage be guarded?
It would be very secure, but lightly manned.
Okay. Keeping that in mind for now.
So, did all did everything happen in a certain radius?
Everything took place in the flux. So if I bring up, this obviously doesn't exist in real Pahrump, but I'm going to use the layout of the city. Yeah. So you can see here, it kind of looks a bit like an icing, one of those icing bags.
Okay, yeah.
The shape. Okay, so the main road running north-south, that is the main road through Pahrump as well. And most of the municipal buildings are on or just off that main road. So that's where all the higher, the better restaurants, better businesses, better housing, and all that sort of stuff is along that or just off that strip. There aren't an awful lot of buildings to the east of that road. Most of that land is owned by Pharmacom Corporation and is just privately owned desert wasteland.
And the victims, they're all female, same age. Are they also like same race, or do they have other similarities? Nothing.
No.
Other than being fairly young and female, that's the only similarity you've seen.
Did they know
Although
each other?
you don't have access to their records or anything.
We don't know if they knew each other.
Okay, so the north of the city here is all industrial, and it's at the edge of that zone where your base is. Below that, and to the west, so the west of the city here, which I'm circling in this, that goes out into this bulge, that's the flux.
Okay.
The large slum area there. The south of the city, so below this road, most of that is Pharmacom owned, but it's corporate housing and shopping malls and things like that.
Okay.
And then right down the bottom of that area is Pharmacom's industrial zone, where their laboratories and their corporate headquarters for Nevada, where the Nevada headquarters are.
So
that's the corporation, Pharmacom. That's the big one in Pahrump.
But the question is, all the murders were in the flux. Within the flux, were they concentrated on a small area, or were they spread out through the whole area?
You haven't been given details of where the other bodies have been found. You know from Consuela because she found Esmeralda. So you know where she was found, but you don't know where the others are. And the news articles just say that they were found in the flux. The only one that's actually got an address, and it's not an address, but an indication of where, was Article 2 that said that the body was found behind a Family Dollar store. There are 6 Family Dollars.
In Article 5, it says in the behind the bowling alley.
Oh, yes. So there you go. So you've got the 2.
And we know where the last victim was found.
So Consuela found her. Why were they both there in the first place? Like, how come? Do we know why the girl that was killed was there, and do we also know why she was there?
No idea why Esmeralda was there. She's a taxi driver, and Consuela had reported her missing when she didn't return home after a night shift. Later that day, a friend of the family spotted the taxi, told Consuela. Consuela went to where the taxi was on a road with no buildings on it, in the flux. And
where is the taxi now?
impounded.
We need that taxi.
She alerted the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
So
We need to have a taxi.
So with
and
those
Esmeralda's
3
body was found
locations
in
we
the
have,
boot.
I still have the question: are they all close together or are they spread out? We have 3 or 5 locations.
They're sort of spread out, but in the built-up part of the flux. So the far left of the map. We bring it back up again. This bulge here. Most of that is just waste ground that has got like grid roads marked out, but those roads were never given names and buildings have not been erected there. So it sort of starts off denser and gets thinner the further west you go. So it's all in the main part of the flux.
Okay. Are there any cameras or whatever in the area of that we know, like the bowling area?
You don't know the area.
Car was found.
You've never been there. You've never even heard of the area, so you don't know.
Right. Well, would it be an idea to go there, guys? To just check it out ourselves.
I am saying the whole time that we should go where the last victim was found first.
Yeah.
Because we might be able to find something there, and from there we can check out the other places.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And then also, while we're there, making sure that if we see anything like a camera or whatever, that we notice that, so we can maybe look for the footage later.
Yeah, if there are any security cameras that are operational.
Yeah, or I don't know if they have any traffic cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
So, by the last victim, you mean Esmeralda? She's only...
Yes.
Yeah, 2 days ago, or 2 nights ago, she was killed. So... okay, so you drive out there.
I have one more question. How long of a time was there in between all the victims?
9 months.
Roughly 3 months between each one.
Oh. And the last one and the previous one?
A year.
Oh.
Sorry, wow, it's all 3 months. But from the first one to the 5th one, it's a year, roughly.
Okay.
Okay.
It's always 3 months apart, each one. Okay.
Yeah. At least that's how far apart the news articles are.
Okay. Is it always on, like, do you have any specific times? Is it always at night? Do we have any specific days?
No.
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Okay. So you
I'm
travel
trying to find a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for that we need more information, and for that we need our hacker.
Yeah. So you head out into the flux.
Or just go there and ask around.
Okay. So you head out into the flux. You can tell when you've reached it. The buildings go from fairly modern 2-3 story buildings fairly close together to spread out single-story homes, cabins, mobile homes, things like that, static caravans, that sort of thing. The roads, instead of being well paved and double laned, just turn into unmarked tarmac roads, straight line tarmac roads. And
tarmac? What is tarmac?
Asphalt.
What?
Asphalt.
Just asphalt.
Normal,
asphalt.
Road. Okay, yeah. Got it, thank you.
That's good, Pew. It's exactly what you want it to be.
But what we need.
You need to find the information. I'm not going to give it to you. So.
No, it's fine.
All right, so we're going to try to hack into terminals and all that stuff, right?
Not yet. You haven't picked a location for that. So at the moment, you're all off in the van to the place where Esmeralda was discovered.
Yeah, no. But, I mean, one of the things we should look for when we do get into the terminal is because there was such a gap between killings. What was it, a year?
3 months
Mhm.
between
A 3 month
killings.
gap between each killing,
And a
and
year
they've
Between
been
since the
every-
happening now for a
first.
year.
Oh, okay. So there's been consistently a killing every 3 months for a year.
That's how often the articles have come out. Once every
I was
3
just gonna
months.
say, because it could be that they were all, we don't know how long there was between them getting, like being missing and until they were found. It could be like 4 or 5 months in between those
Well,
periods of time.
I thought we found another similar murder, like
Yeah, but there's
years
no
and years
article
before.
about it yet.
I mean, from years before. Like there was a gap.
No,
No,
No.
okay, never mind.
no. The first one was news article. The first article was dated almost a year ago to the day. Not quite, about a week out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so we know that there are at least 5 murders of all females around the same age in the course of a year, but that's only the ones that are mentioned in the news article. There could be way more that we don't know about.
potentially.
Yes.
Okay, so put that back on. So Esmeralda's taxi was eventually found on Explorer Court, which is a road with no housing on it.
Okay.
Was she found in the taxi or next to it?
He was found
Inside
in
the boot.
Boot.
I didn't understand anything because 2 of you were talking at the same time.
The boot, the car boot.
Oh, okay.
Do we know if was the boot locked? Was the car locked? Do we know any of those details? Don't we know any
No,
of that yet?
You don't know.
Okay.
You do know that Consuela found her when she was told where the taxi was.
And maybe I missed this part. Could she see what happened to her? Like, did she have any blood, or did she see anything on the body?
Well, she saw that she'd got her head had been taken off, and there was lots of
Oh.
blood around her abdomen.
Well, yeah.
So stabs as well.
All right. So but that was the head still there, or was the head gone as well?
That was there, just wasn't attached.
Oh, ew. Okay. That's gruesome.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if she was killed there or if she was killed somewhere else and then brought there.
Yeah.
No.
Well, if there was that many blood and her head was taken off, if she was killed there, you should at least see some blood on the floor or whatever.
Or
So
Potentially,
yeah,
if you can
yeah,
find
it
the
might
spot
be
where the taxi was.
I was gonna say, like, it might be an idea to just go there and see if we can find anything to
You're
That's
there,
what
you're
we
looking
are
at
doing.
it.
We are there right now.
Yeah, well then just maybe to just is there like a skill to like look around or scan or whatever? Do we have something like that?
awareness.
It's awareness. Yep.
Would it be an
But you
idea
don't
to
even
use
need
that?
you don't even need to roll for it. You drive down Explorer Court, and about halfway down, you can see the remains of the holographic police beacons where they mark off a crime scene. There's like there's one line on the floor, and a tatter of like crime scene tape.
Okay.
It's in the middle of nowhere. The road isn't very long. It connects a road with some houses on to another road with some houses on, but there are no drives or houses off it. And it's you can see there it's right at the edge of the flux, so it's just grid marked roads with no asphalt or houses on them from that right up until and before the mountains. Before you get to the mountains, that's the California border. So beyond that is you're not even in Nevada anymore.
What can we see in the area that was apparently cordoned off by the police? Is there
Okay.
anything that gives us a hint to what happened here?
There is no hint that the taxi has been here. There is very close to where the damaged police beacon is lying. There is what looks like a blood stain on the floor, but it's small. It's like a tiny pool, no bigger than a side plate.
Can Cap take a sample of that? Would that be an option?
It's dried now. The desert, 2 days in the desert would have baked the crap out of it. It's just a slightly discoloured floor now.
Brown.
Now just spit on it.
I have a bottle of water. We can rehydrate it.
Yeah. Cap, give me a
So, but-
medicine roll.
How far away is the stain from where the other things is?
What other things?
You said you see a beacon and then you also see a stain. Like
Yeah,
how many meters?
that's what led it.
between-
It's not even that. It's a meter.
Oh, okay.
Past it.
Right, it's right there. Okay.
Okay. So there is nowhere near enough blood for a decapitation or a a heavily stabbed abdomen on the floor. So the person was not killed in this spot.
And whose blood is it?
Should
There's just
we
not enough
look
blood
around?
for it.
Should we look around further then to see if we can find more, like maybe in the grass or whatever?
Probably not. If she was in the boot of the car, she was probably driven here.
Could be. But just to be sure, I don't know. Because it could also be that they were driving there, that they got into a fight in the grass, and then the person carried her back into the booth.
It wouldn't take you too long to do a search of the
Just
the
look
immediate
around.
area, but obviously it depends how far out you want to go.
Not too far, but just to be sure that we're not missing anything. Like, do we have like a scanner or whatever? So we just you know what I mean, like so we're 100% sure that we haven't missed anything.
No, the only thing that would work on it is a medical scanner. I don't think even Cap's got one of them.
Okay.
And then they're for scanning close up. They're not for scanning, an area. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, don't we have a drone that we can maybe have take a picture from up, so we'll have a picture from the scene, and I don't know, for later. I don't know. Just
You don't. Polly does, but she's not with you.
rude.
So,
And there's no trail going off onto the side somewhere into the bushes from the blood.
No sign of blood drops.
Nothing. No disturbance or anything. So.
No.
No tire marks. Nothing.
No. Which also suggests the taxi was not driven in anger to this spot, because there's no markings that would have been caused by heavy braking or heavy acceleration that you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Could we tell which way the taxi came from?
No, because it's not there now, so you don't know which way it's facing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like there's usually they put like an arrow on the floor showing which way it faced, but it doesn't show that on the floor then.
No.
Okay.
And there's no more of the hologram crime scene footage playing.
Can we take the hologram thing that was broken? Can we try and fix it?
It's a pole thing, and they space them out like cones, and it creates a holographic image between them saying "police line, don't cross." That's all it does. And this one happens to be broken and is lying on the floor.
I thought it was like in Cyberpunk in the game that it shows the crime scene happening.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
So I guess if we're then done, maybe go to the murder that we know happened 3 months prior. If we know where that was.
Yeah, behind the bowling alley was the one before that.
Yeah, so
It
it might
is.
be an idea to just go there.
Because I updated that, and I need to check it because I might have the wrong address on it. Either way, you'll have the address. It'll be there. But I don't think it was. I think I changed its location. No, that's a mistype from me. Hold on a sec.
Because that's what I was thinking, to just go to the bowling alley, see if we can find something, and if it's more populated, just ask around, maybe. See if there's people with information or whatever.
What I can tell you from areas like that, which I'm familiar with, they won't talk to strangers.
I was thinking as well to maybe go to her apartment to see if there's anything
Well, that's
there.
a good idea. That's a good idea. Well, don't we have the persuasion skill, Red?
They
Maybe,
won't talk to strangers.
And what if we offered them money? Would they be, if it's a poor area, money might do it?
They would be even more skeptical of our motives.
Okay.
Nobody just walks around and offers you money.
Yeah.
Not if they mean well. Usually.
True, true.
Okay, so the bowling alley was originally a location I was using, and then I changed it when I rewrote it, and I forgot to update the news article, so ignore that. That's my fault. So she was actually found on waste ground on West Dyer Road.
On waste ground.
What does that mean? So that like where people just dump is like a dumpster?
Yeah. Not a dumpster, but just a ground that's not owned by anyone. Technically, it would be owned by the city, but
yeah,
just
on
empty
land.
Yeah, but in Cyberpunk, chances are it's been turned into a rubbish tip of some sort. You've seen how bad, parts of the area when you travelled through it from the south. That huge chunks of the desert are just garbage now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking two scenarios. One would be to just go through all the sites, or two, try and hack the police system so we can maybe see what they have in their reports, and we know all the people's information, and so we can maybe go a little bit, like you said, go to their houses and whatever.
Yeah, more information.
So
that was actually the plan. First, look at the locations, then find a place where we can go to hack into the police system.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I'm just wondering if we should do that now instead of going to all the places first. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought one was behind a bowling alley. There would have been chances that we might have gotten a camera or something there. If it is wasteland, that is quite different.
That's likely.
Yeah, exactly.
We did not have that information yet.
No, but like Red said, 3 of the articles do mention locations. Article 1 does not. It just mentions an abandoned building. Article 2 does give you the name of a store.
But
you've seen for yourself,
ones.
There are multiple ones, but they're scattered throughout Pahrump. So, and it does say that it's in the...
How many are in the flux?
I was going to say, how many of those stores are in the flux?
Who's got cellular data, something with cellular data? i.e. cellular implant or a deck?
I don't know.
No.
Then to find that out, you'd have to go to a data terminal or a cafe or something to get a connection.
Okay.
But we would have looked that up before we started driving.
Yeah, I would think so too.
You don't get to go back in time and say we'd have done that. We'd have killed the bad guy before we started the investigation. You can't go back in time and say
we are going to drive to the location, so we will have looked up where the locations are.
To the last location. You haven't looked this up yet.
And I asked whether the 3 locations where we have data, whether they are together or spread out. So we will have looked up the location because you said they are spread out throughout the flux. So
they
we
all
must
say
have
they're in the
looked up
flux.
that information.
That was in the article. It's in the flux. It doesn't say which Family Dollar store, and you didn't look. It's as simple as going to a location where you've got an internet connection and you can look.
But we said we are going to drive to all the locations. And we looked up the
I'm not
locations to
arguing about
find
it
out
anymore.
where it
You have
was.
not got that information now. Period. But it's very easy to get it.
Can I get Polly on a link to ask her to just check and tell us?
Yeah, good
Have
idea.
you got a wireless link? Have you got a communications device? A comms link? As
Yeah,
Polly
we all
does.
have comms.
Yeah, I
But they're
think
So
not
you
that
can
able
all
to
come
go
do.
far
between you.
enough.
You can come between you.
Yeah.
Because you'll have established
Yeah,
the
we
link
will.
before you left.
Mm-hmm. Wireless link,
So,
yep.
Well, I said I would establish with Polly because she's staying in.
which
The
is why I
club.
said you've got a connection. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to establish that over distance unless you hadn't already done it.
Okay.
And Polly passed her computer use easily. There are 6 Family Dollar stores in Pahrump, but only one of them in the Flux.
Okay.
You don't know
Okay.
where the trailer park is from Article 3. You don't know where the abandoned building is from Article 1. You've got road names for victims 4, 5, and now 2.
So, but can we, like, for example, you say trailer parks? Do we know how many trailer parks there are in the Flux, for example, so we can narrow
Dozens
it
of
down?
them. The Flux is
Dozens.
trailer parks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If it's not a single story house, a single story 3-bedroom house on these squares of dirt, it's going to be a trailer park or a mobile home.
Okay. Okay.
But we do have a location for that dollar store now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still in the Flux, but it's actually fairly close to downtown. It's just
So you guys
inside
want to
the
go
Flux.
there?
It's like one street over to being inside the Flux.
That's the only place we know for sure, so we can go there and see what we find.
Let me turn that off for a second so I can bring it up without giving stuff away.
Maybe we can ask the people that run the dollar store if they have any, like if there's a camera outside, if there is any footage that's been kept and saved.
Yeah, but why,
Oh, well,
like Brett is saying, why would they give that to us?
That's true.
threats of violence, bribery. It's all possible. Persuasion, as you say.
I feel like we should just steal a police uniform and then ask for footage so they have to give it to us.
They don't have
Red's
to do
got a
anything.
handgun. Red's got a handgun with a barrel the size of a shotgun shell. So that could be fairly intimidating.
Mm.
There we go. So you arrive at the Family Dollar.
Hello. Is it like it's like open for business, right? Like it's
Yep. Yeah, there's actually, I took a picture of the back of it, but you can see off to the left there, that's car park around the front of the building. When you pull up at the Family Dollar, it's not what you'd call busy, certainly not this time of day, because you're approaching midday now. So it's not busy. There's a couple of cars in the car park. There is a camera above the door looking out into the car park.
okay.
That you can see. You spot that.
And the article said it was from behind
And the
dollar
dumpsters.
store.
If we go around to the back, is there a camera?
You can walk around. There's no fencing or anything. There's nothing to stop you going around the back of it. But when you do, there's no cameras anywhere except on the front.
Okay.
Hmm. So no, the only one in the front. Okay. Is there any way you could get to that part of the building without being seen by that camera? Is that easy to do?
You can walk around it. In fact, you are doing, and nobody's paying the slightest bit of attention to you.
You could, yeah.
There are some buildings nearby.
So if
Sorry,
you
Red,
don't
what were you saying?
walk across the parking lot, you won't get seen by the camera.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are buildings nearby on the opposite side of the road. They're well spaced out, so they're not what you'd call close. but there's some residences sort of back and to the left of the photo, and the other side of the car park, the other side of the road. So that sort of corner area has residences. From the direction where you're facing the photo and off to the right, it's all waste ground. It's not used.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there isn't. There are a couple of security lights around the building, but
Mm-hmm.
Red can tell you that they wouldn't deter a criminal. Just one look at them, so they're not adequate to keep a criminal at bay. They're just not powerful enough, and there's only 2 of them.
Yeah, so what would you guys suggest we do here now?
Well, we don't. I mean, okay, it was like almost a year ago. This murder here, or the
Mm-hmm.
way the body was found, so there won't be anything really defined. I'm guessing by the dumpsters,
No,
and since there's no camera, the only thing we could do here is talk to the people that own it and demand or ask nicely if they have the footage from the camera and see if the well, we don't know the exact date, so we couldn't even check actually.
Oh no, but we could just ask them, saying, well, we're just wondering about what happened here a year ago. Can you give us some information? Maybe they will tell you it happened on that date, and then if they know all that, then we can ask if they still have footage.
Yeah. Like we can be nice and try and be like, we're trying to figure out what's happening because obviously the police don't care, and we're a friend of
Exactly.
ours has been killed. Like we don't have to tell them.
Exactly. So maybe they will give us a name of the victim or maybe information that can help us further as
Yeah.
well. Because I would assume they would have been interrogated by the police because it was their
shop.
lot that the body was found on. So.
Yeah.
you're going into the store then.
Yeah, but would it be a good idea to see who would be best to go in, who has the best skill for that?
Well, you have
You would
to.
need.
You are all armed, and you're in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it probably
So
won't be a good idea
maybe
to just
only
go in.
one person should go in.
Yeah, it's worth noting that anyone Pew questions is going to feel intimidated just because she's in 6.5 foot of power armor with an assault rifle across the back.
Then I'm
Well,
going,
we
can I
need.
use the bathroom, please?
It must be a swine to get out of it.
Well, we need empathy. I'm guessing, right?
I
You
would
can
think it would
fast
be the
talk
best
if
to
you
do
just
that,
want
yeah.
to try and get information out of someone and you're not interested in them later figuring out that you duped them. You can use fast talk. You can
Well,
use
then I'll stay
persuasion.
by the car.
Yeah, you can use persuasion if you want to just talk them into by being nice to them and stuff like that. Persuade them into giving up information. And empathy, you can make a connection with them first.
We don't have persuasion.
No, I didn't think so. I thought it was all under empathy.
There's
But I've still
empathy
got
and
fast talk in there, haven't I?
Yeah, fast talk.
Yeah,
is
we
there.
do.
But I have
Who has
6
the
on
highest
fast talk and
So
10 on empathy.
empathy would be your
I'll stay
persuasion.
by the car.
So it's a friendlier way of getting information, empathy. I think I've left intimidation there, though, which is also an option.
Yeah,
Wasn't
intimidate.
your empathy quite high, Red?
Mine is 40.
That is pretty high.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
you
Where
have
is
Certainly
high
for a
fast
mine?
cybered
talk.
character.
Oh, there. Yeah.
mine
and
is 15.
And fast talk is 35.
Well, then I think we
Mm,
know
I
who's
think
going.
I think it might be best
What's
if
your
you didn't go
intimidate, Red?
in.
Again,
Intimidate.
45.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
so
the highest and all.
depending on which skill you want to use will determine how you try to get the information.
Well, does
If there's
everybody
someone who
agree
can give
that,
it to you.
we're going to do it like this? Because we haven't really heard Cap or Red to see if they agree with what we are talking about.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I'm just here in case somebody decides to get froggy.
How are you at fast talk? Weren't you better at fast talk than I was?
Fast talk? I don't think so. I think mine's only like 30 something.
Yeah, mine's 35.
Mine's 33.
Oh, okay.
Close enough.
So, do you want to
Yeah,
go
just
inside
wanted to
alone,
make
or
sure that I'm the best bet that we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm going in alone or just not as a group.
Yeah, we'll stay by the
Mhm.
car. And once you get to the door, I'm like, Red, don't forget the case of beer. We need it for later.
Okay. Give me an awareness roll first, Red, please.
Just a second.
Your
I am
awareness is pretty
still
decent, isn't it?
rather aware because I have 84 on awareness.
I thought you had got a high awareness.
Wow.
Excuse me. Oh. Okay, so you notice a few things when you first walk in. One, the camera does have a little red light. It's in your nature to check that sort of thing due to your background, which means it's recording, it's active. So, you see there's a checkout girl. You know, there's a couple of just a couple of checkout lines, the automated ones with the belt. One of them has got a young girl behind it in her late teens, by the look of it. She's chatting to someone in a sheriff's uniform, a young guy, but also maybe early 20s. But that's quite a way off because you come in at the entrance side rather than the exit side. Near you, there is another young guy in a blue overalls, sort of just staring at the floor, kind of slack-jawed, but he's mopping at the moment, and there's a little, a wet floor sign next to him. Other than that,
Moist.
you don't see anybody else in the store.
Okay. I'm first walking through the store and try to get close up to the girl and the guy in the uniform.
There's shelving there that you can
watch.
browse. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Give me another awareness roll. It's an easy one.
Yep, passed.
Okay. As you approach, as you go up to one of the shelves where it's like it always is on the exit, it's candy and stuff like that. So as you start browsing the candy, you do notice that the uniformed guy glances up at you, but it's a fleeting glance, and his attention goes back to the girl. It takes you seconds to figure out that they're flirting with each other. They're basically chatting about he likes the coffee here and how's she doing, and they hear about piano recitals and nonsense like that. It's ineffectual young people flirting is what's going on.
Yeah. Does the uniform has a name on it?
It does. Give me a hard awareness roll. You kind of got the wrong angle, so you're having to wait for him to shift around to see it.
No.
No.
That one I didn't pass at all.
Yeah, you can see a name badge, but because of the angle and because he's sort of side on to you rather than facing you, you can't really read it. Not without getting too close.
Okay, I'm picking out some candy and go to pay for it and try to get another glance at him and at his name badge.
Yeah, give me another awareness roll. You can do an easy one this time. You have to ask him to, you have to say excuse me and sort of step past him.
Yeah, and that one I pass with flying colors.
Back to that. It says Deputy McGill on his badge.
Deputy. Well, young age.
The one running against Colton Ricks.
Yeah.
If he's up against Colton Ricks, he's obviously got his work cut out because he's quite clean shaven. He's quite a handsome guy, but he's young. He must be 22, maybe 23. And when you try to go past him to pay for your candy, he does take a step back and he tips his hat at you and calls you ma'am.
I greet him back friendly, nod at him, pay for my stuff. Try to
Okay.
be as unassuming as possible. Yeah.
He's not
I'm
paying
in an
other than
almost
being
empty
polite to you.
store.
Yeah, he's other than being polite to you when you step past him. He's not paying you any attention at all. His attention's on the go.
Yeah, but still, habits and such.
And you're very good at blending in, especially when there's police around. So
Yeah. I probably know exactly what to do to not appear as anything other than a customer.
absolutely. You'll have unconsciously done things like shift your jacket over the ridiculous amount of pistols you've got stuck to your belt, and
Hide big iron.
yeah, big iron is big, so that stands out. But
yeah, and then I'm for now leaving again because with the deputy there, I don't want to ask the girl about this stuff. They don't need to know that we are investigating.
fair enough. So yeah, she's gone about 10 minutes, something like that, and then Red's character comes back out of the store.
Yeah, and I tell you what I saw in there, and that I did not ask around while the police was there. Don't know if we want them to know that we are looking into stuff.
Can I have the candy that you bought?
Yeah, I share the candy around.
Yes.
Yeah, which is easy for most of you. It takes a good 5 minutes for you to get into to get at the candy, unhooking everything. And
Should I feed you? Here you
Yes,
go. Just
please.
open your helmet.
Ah.
okay. So what's next, people?
Do we wait for him to leave, or
I'm not
what
sure
do
if
we
we
want to do?
actually, after such a long time, can get that much information there. And
Was there anyone else in there? Or it was just the two of them. There was no
Yeah,
store
the cleaning.
owner.
There was a
the
cleaning
two of
guy.
them
Oh,
and
the
the guy
cleaning guy.
cleaning.
So what if Doc goes in next and then tries and talk to the guy, because the other two are paying attention to each other, so he doesn't really. If he can blend in, they probably won't even notice him talking to the cleaning guy. It would be weird for Red to go back in, so or not. It's saying that she forgot something, could be.
Like, forgot the beer.
I forgot my beer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys think that's a good idea, but that's because again the other two are completely focused on each other, so it might be. I don't know. It might be worth a shot to ask the guy, the cleaner.
And give me awareness rolls.
All of us?
Yep.
Yes.
Red easily passed.
Nope.
Asper cocked that up. And Grim. Okay.
We're blind. The sun is too bright. I can't see.
Yeah.
Also distracted by the candy. I shouldn't have fed you sugar.
Sugar rush. Ah.
Now you know how to distract solar operators, edge runners.
Actually, I passed.
Bring them candy.
My awareness is 99.
I failed. My awareness is 46.
Yeah. So, passes. You notice, driving very slowly, a lowrider drives past. It slows down, and you see a couple of really pale-faced, dark-haired youths looking out the side of the car at you. The car it's blacked out, and it's got Gothic symbols all over it. It's got a spider web pattern on the wheel arches and the bonnet. There's a Gothic gargoyle on the front of the car.
Attack.
The wheel rims look like they've been. They've got spinners on that look like barbed wire. It's black with chrome everywhere.
And ride, guys.
Does it
a bunch of
scream gang at me?
it definitely does, and they slow down looking at you. But then one of them points at the back of the car lot where the sheriff's 4x4 is, and then they pick up speed
Keep
and
going.
drive off down a side street.
Do we have time to see the license plate?
No, in fact, as it pulls around the corner, there is no license plate. It just says, oh God, it says the name of the gang, and I've forgotten the name of the gang. Hold on a second. Hold the line, callers. It's not the Piranhas. That's a different one.
Guppies. The Gothic Guppies.
No, in red Gothic lettering across the back of the trunk or boot, it says Bloody Sabbath.
Okay.
Oh.
We asked the cop.
Has
Does Cat
Red
go in again,
heard of them?
or
No.
do we drive back?
That's why I'm asking. Make a concept roll. Just Red, because she's the ganger.
Sure.
I think your concept is like 90, isn't it, or something?
Yeah.
My concept is 99.
Wow.
So yes, I
65.
pass.
Okay.
You know about them.
You've not heard of them, but that tells you something. That means they're not they're not a Sin City gang. So they're not one of the big gangs from the, or even one of the minor gangs from Sin City.
Yeah, so
And they're
they
not
are
big enough for
probably
you to have
local.
heard of them outside of the city either.
So they're just a tiny little Perump gang.
A local, yeah, definitely local.
Or just Flux.
I would suggest then just try and hack the police systems to get more information. And if we do come back, we can maybe use the information we have to
Yeah.
ask the questions better. Like if we have a name, we could be like, well, we were friends with Cassandra, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay,
So
so you've got
Do
the
we have-
locations off Ralphie.
Yeah.
can we do
Polly
that
wouldn't be able
without
to get
you?
there.
Yeah, without
sorry, Red.
Polly being there.
Yes, you can, but you're going to have to buy not a hacking device, but it's like a repeater. You'd have to buy a repeater, a secure, an encrypted repeater. You would have to physically install it, and she could connect to it like she was there
Okay.
over a secure
No.
comm link,
Okay.
Which we have.
which you already have open. You've got an open line. I'm going to assume you wanted it as secure as possible, which means it's just open between Asper and Polly at the moment, because it was Asper who mentioned it. The more you add, the more bandwidth it takes up, the easier it is to spot that sort of traffic, even if you can't decrypt it.
Okay.
So,
And I'll just keep it between the two of us for now.
yeah.
Where
They
can
have
we get a
they have a
repeater?
short range as well, but that short range is big enough to cover the town of Pahrump. It's like 5 kilometres or something.
Okay.
Keep an active link.
And where
So
can we get?
you can buy them. Ralphie could get you one if you didn't want it serial numbered, or you could go to any Radio Shack and just buy one.
Radio Shack? They still have those?
The whatever the cyberpunk equivalent is, but I like Radio Shack, so I'm saying they still exist. They got bought out, and the name was reused. Some corporation bought it and reused the name. Because Radio Shack
I
was
guess
brilliant when
we're-
I was young.
I guess we're gonna drive to one of those places then.
So there isn't one in the Flux, but there's a quick a quick call to Polly. She can tell you where the nearest electronic store is that would sell it.
Yeah.
You guys want to
It
do
would
that?
only,
Yeah.
Sure.
an off the shelf one would only cost you $50. But
Okay.
the
Who's
purchase
marking it off?
gets registered.
I'll mark it off.
Do we want to buy
$50,
two
right?
just for future if we ever need it, or can we just reuse it?
They're reusable, but the more you
Okay.
reuse them, the less secure their encryption becomes, or the less you can trust it. I mean, the encryption doesn't get any worse, but
Okay. You guys want to just get one for now then, or you want to get two for? I know. Let's say it breaks down or whatever. We have a spare one.
you've read your gang has probably sold these by the dozen on the black market, unserialed, and generally they'd be one use, just because you wouldn't risk using them again. They'd have the same sort of digital signature.
Okay.
So just one?
Certainly only need
I
one
would
for
get.
now.
Well, we
Yeah.
can
We
get
can always
two.
come back.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
you can
have.
afford it, or you could go back. Yeah.
I have. Let me see, because I have quite some money, so I wouldn't mind buying more. So we just have, for future reference, we have them. 'Cause I have. Let me see. Where can I find it? Blah, 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 blah.
Down near your equipment.
I still have $850. So I don't mind if we
You
get
can buy
another
a couple
one,
if you
but
want. Somebody mark them down.
yeah, I'll just buy two then. I guess Can you add
Okay.
that to my sheet, because it's not really working on my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, give me a second. Hold.
All right, thank you.
Now, with that, you need to physically install it, but you can just plug it into a computer or a data term that's on the subnet that you want access to.
Okay. Then what do we think would be the easiest to get into of the locations that we have been told about?
Have any of you got a law background? I know you've got criminal, which is close, but I don't think anybody's got law enforcement, have they?
I have
Uh,
Militech background, but probably doesn't count.
I don't know.
You're military, aren't you, Solo? I think you're a military background rather than law enforcement. So, Red, you can make a concept roll, but it's a hard roll.
With a 65, I'm not passing a heart.
Excuse me.
And I'm low on cards.
Have any? Yep.
Reroll.
Cap's giving you a reroll.
Yeah.
Okay, Cap said I'm getting a reroll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't any better. Sorry.
I tell you what, that's a funnier roll, so I'll let you have that. I'll give that to you. Okay, so the evidence storage will be the least manned, but we'll also have higher tech security, which will be difficult to get past without Polly there to do it for you. The easiest building to access will be the courthouse, because although you wouldn't be able to carry weapons into it, legally the public are allowed to enter it.
We don't technically need weapons.
You'd have to go to a secure area once you're in there, but it's actually the easiest place to get into out of all of them, because you don't need a reason for being there other than, oh, I'm just interested in the courts. What's on the courts today?
Dan thuis of wat is het?
Yeah.
Wat?
And we should
Okay, well,
probably try that.
Yeah, I would say go to the courts. I'll have to go in since I have Polly on comms.
Yeah, to create the link. You'll also need sneaky skills.
I have
Well,
60
But the
stealth.
more of you that are doing it, the harder it'll be.
Yeah. So maybe just one more person.
Want me for
Most of the
backup?
rest.
I'm
Yeah.
sneaky and I know how to blend in.
Yeah. To keep an eye
in
while I
general.
Which
look
would
up
leave
this
Cap and
thing.
Pew on
Outside duty.
yeah.
Lookouts outside.
Then I'm having a
Ja.
com connection
Ik
with
doe maar via, ik weet niet wat het is.
going to have a com
Yeah.
connection with Cap.
Okay.
Open.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can set up a secure connection with Cap.
So we
Assuming
leave
Cap
our.
accepts
So
it.
they know what's going on as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head down to the courthouse. It's as busy as all courthouses in a very large town are,
Well,
but it's going to
I
be.
would leave my weapons in the car. I'm not taking them for them.
Yeah,
to
you can leave
store.
them all in the van. You'd
I'll
have
leave
to. You
everything
will
in
have
the
to go
van.
through a scanner.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, what about the repeater? Are they gonna take that away from it?
Oh, maybe if they recognise what it is. Has any of you got a subdermal pocket you could put it in? It's small enough.
Yes.
Yes,
I do.
I do.
They're about the size of a like a fancy cigarette box, and
Gonna definitely
Um,
fit in my pocket.
yeah. So a section of it is a retractable cable that clips onto whatever actually clips on rather than plugs in. So it clips on or plugs in to whatever device you want to take data from or inject data
Okay.
into, and a little Wi-Fi antenna. It's basically what it's made of, and you can bypass the Wi-Fi antenna. You only need that if you're going to leave it in place and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
If you're there, it's more secure to plug your interface link into that and use
Okay.
that direct through your comms. So
Okay. Well, then I'll put it in my pocket.
okay.
I don't think I have anything in there anymore.
So you are cybered. So when the two of you go in, you go through. It beeps, but doesn't set off like the red lights or anything. And then you're just rescanned by hand, specifically where your cyber implants are. But they scan over the pocket, which is signal protected anyway. You'd need an X-ray to see that normally, or a medical scanner. So.
Okay.
So they do a scan of you by hand and then let the two of you into the courthouse. And there's people walking around. It's fairly busy. It's how you'd expect it. There's lots of mahogany and marble floors.
There's like documents and paintings and stuff, so we can like
Yeah, exactly.
wander
and
around.
People holding piles of folders, digital folders and things like that, like data pads and whatnot.
There will probably be some kind of map or something.
There's a
Layout
simple one on the wall.
Layout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For a fire, but in emergency of fires, and it clearly marks the staff only sections because they're coloured in red on the map. So
Okay.
And
So we
of
need
course,
to.
that's where we want to head.
Of course. We would need one that. Would all of them have a place to
Thank you.
connect? All of those rooms?
yeah, so there'd be a staff only door somewhere, maybe even a couple of them. You can see that in from the foyer off to the left, the stairs in front of you going up to courtrooms on the next level, but there's a door off to your left that just says staff only. It has a card reader, a card swipe lock.
Yeah.
You can see a security guard. He looks a bit bored. He's stood near a small cluster of lawyers chatting with them and has a coffee in his hand. Did I add? No, I didn't add pickpocket because it's thievery. What's your thievery skill, Red?
49.
So that you'd use if you wanted to. You could potentially lift his ID, which is clipped to his pocket with a little crocodile clip with his card on it. It's just clipped to his pocket. Potentially you could take that. Of course, the consequences of failing it.
death.
Not necessarily. I mean, if you fumbled it, then you're screwed. But
You gonna roll, Red?
Yeah, give me a second here.
I was gonna ask because I got a card I can throw you.
Can we do something as a distraction? I mean, there's two of us.
Yeah.
One sec.
yeah,
Well,
potentially,
well,
what
the
would you do?
security guard is talking to some lawyers,
Oh,
There you go.
drinking a
Cap's just
coffee.
given you an automatic success. Anyway.
Okay.
That works.
So, yeah. So you walk over to him and you ask for a distraction. Before she's had a chance to come up with one, you accidentally bump into the guard, make your excuses, and step away
Excuse me, sorry.
with him like going, "It's a good job you didn't spill me coffee," and then he goes back to his chat, and you've got his security card in your hand.
I was gonna say spill his coffee onto the lawyers, kind of bump into him, and then be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll get you a new coffee." And
But yeah,
Okay.
not Red's
I
first time.
accidentally pickpocket.
You took the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
You have a
so he
security
was-
card. It's just a magnetic strip with a face ID and stuff on it.
Yeah. Make sure
But you
he's
just
not
need to wait.
watching the entry door when we
Is
walk
there
through,
another door
because
somewhere?
we probably don't look like staff that he knows.
Give me awareness checks. They're easy.
thinking to find another place
I'll have a
that's maybe
coughing
not
fit.
people standing around. I pass.
Yes.
Yeah. Finally.
Well, a quick glance around, nobody's looking at you.
Oh, okay.
You have a small window of opportunity. So you do. You Red, you use the card. It goes green immediately. You hear a click as the door unlocks and you step inside.
Oh, yeah.
Quick glance around shows you're in a small security office. It's for one man, and he's not in there. He's probably the guy outside having coffee. But there is another door off to the right, which is unmarked, which goes into more of a staff area. There are terminals here. There's a security terminal with multiple screens here where you stood.
And we should probably use that and plug the thingy in.
Yeah, I don't want to waste any time. I'll go and do that as quickly
I need
as
an
I can.
electronics roll off you then, Asper.
Oh shoot.
It's simple because it's designed to be simple, so you can have a bonus dice. And you didn't need it anyway.
Nice.
Wow.
A 1. Yeah. She goes, hold on a sec, reaches under the desk without looking. There's a bit of
Plugs the USB in
half
right
a
way
second of
first
movement.
time.
Yeah, it's half a second of movement, and then she comes out with the cable that she plugs into a link and says, "There we go, we're connected."
Perfect. Polly, do your thing. What does that mean?
It means you failed. There's
What?
99 is going to be a fail.
But why for me? What are you rolling for?
Hey, Captain. For Polly.
Oh, shoot.
Is it really a fail?
You can use a
Is it
card.
though?
Right.
Is it?
I don't have any cards.
It must be the hallucinogens that slipped in your buffet.
Only vaguely, Cap. You're going to have to remind me where. But I'm getting old. I'm almost 50, you know. I'm getting old.
We
I have no
know.
idea.
I got it
The
in.
older
I got
guy.
it in.
Asking the older guy to remind him of things. That makes sense.
I rolled an 8 on the second roll. So the message was garbled, and it was kind of... And then suddenly the signal goes clear. And there's you hear her talking to herself. You can't quite make out what she's saying, but she's sort of talking to herself. And after about 30 seconds, says, "Yeah, okay, I've got it." She tells you that she can't access the police report because it's actively being accessed already. But she has found the individual victim reports with the coroner's details, and those she's just downloaded.
Okay. That means can we leave?
Yeah, she's got all the information she can get.
Okay, great.
Then let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's
That's
get out of here
Asper
before.
in the green hoodie.
Hi. Oh, hi. Captain Flipstick. Yeah, I remember. I remember the name.
Yeah. So, you stick your head out the door. It's the position of people has changed. A couple of the people have changed. Nobody's still paying any attention to you. So you step out, you shut the door, and walk out as if nothing had happened. What are you doing with the ID badge,
The
Red?
ID? Yeah.
I dropped the
You've got
ID
the opportunity
somewhere.
to. Yeah, you could chuck it in a bin. You know, you've got little trash cans dotted around. You could drop it in one of them without anybody seeing.
Yeah.
You could also keep it for later use because
That's
we
what I
might
was
have to come
thinking.
back.
Yeah, maybe
It's
keep
up
it.
to you, Red. Are you discarding or keeping?
Discard, because if he notices it's missing, they will deactivate it anyway.
And if you're caught with
That's
it,
true.
you know full
That
well
is true.
there's no way of talking your way out of that.
True.
No.
So I just maybe like drop it next to him, like walk by him and drop it.
Yeah.
Just drop it in a
Behind
trash
him.
can. No harm, no foul. This is the safest bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yes, it's a role-playing game, so it's not a computer game. And you get out of the building without any problems, and hook up with Cap and Pew on the outside. I can show you the actual. What's its name? I'm assuming you're going to go back to Cybergasm so that you can peruse the documents that Polly's downloaded for you.
Yes.
Okay, so there's Article 1. I'll give you a minute to read it. Tell me if it's make sure it's readable. I can zoom in on the text if you need me to. I tried to make it big enough to make it readable. Yes, exactly, Captain. It's like D&D, but in sci-fi version.
Okay. So she had her
Liver
liver
removed.
removed, but after the decap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that was what the media reported as stabbing to the abdomen was actually just a series of very precise surgical cuts.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the record of how the wounds looked. So we also know that it was surgical cuts.
Yeah.
And not just hacked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like someone knew what they were doing.
Yep. The suspected murder weapon, Red, you were right, is listed as 3 possibles. A flick scythe, which is extremely rare. One of the old-fashioned katanas, but one of the top-end katanas, or a monofilament whip. Those are listed as possible murder weapons.
Okay. So something very, very, very sharp.
Yeah.
And not only that, all 3 of those require a certain level of expertise to not decapitate yourself with it.
Okay. And we also have their next of kin that we can
And
contact.
it will be someone with at least some medical knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So are you all right with that one? Do you want me to move on to the second report?
Yeah.
And let me switch to headphones, hold on. Sorry about that, my earpods are running out of juice. So, are you done with the first sheet?
Yeah, we're keeping these, right? She's downloaded them, so
Bloody
we
hell,
have
got you
the
muted. Yeah, there we go.
exact GPS coordinates where they were found instead of a general location.
They are GPS coordinates. Exactly.
Exactly. And a next of kin, which is handy.
Those GPS coordinates link to a location, and these are crime. There's multiple crime scene photos. I haven't made them. I didn't want to decapitate a woman, so I could make some realistic photos. But so this is one of the crime scene photos that shows where she was found.
Yeah. But just on the ground.
Got to go there. Maybe that van has a hammock.
So yeah. So that's victim 1. Victim 2, you'd already found the family dollar. So there's her report.
When she was found there, does the report say something about whether she was killed there or brought there?
In all, you don't have access to the actual police report, so that's the active investigation. But there is no mention in the coroner's report that says they were killed on site. In fact, it's specifically omitted, that section. So it's unknown where they were killed.
Okay, same.
That's the same street name for the address, right?
Which address are we talking about?
Address where she lived.
Yeah, that's where she lived.
Separate
You
Adam.
didn't have that information. That's not where the body was found. That's not where the
No, but
family
that's
dollar
the
is.
same as the previous victim, right?
No, the previous one was West Betty Avenue. The address.
Oh,
I've just flipped
yeah.
it over for you.
Okay. No, then that was my mistake, sorry.
So you can tell by this, this girl had just turned 17.
Yeah.
All right.
And again the same.
Record 3, do you want that?
Mhm.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
A lot of drugs.
He was very drugged up.
also had a criminal record.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rehab.
Yes,
And
Captain,
we
I mean,
didn't take.
to be fair, most of the people who are viewing, because they're using the stream to read what I'm doing, are the ones talking in chat, so that's why they're not typing.
Yeah.
We're all in
Hi,
chat
Cap.
together.
Sorry. Let's see.
So, and then, again, you're given the location of the trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Have you got everything for now that you want? You can come back to these, and I will create outputs for them and put them in the RPG chat after the session, so you can refer back to them if you need to.
Okay.
Okay, so victim 4 is the one you had the news article for.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 of 4 next of kins. And do you have a like overhead map of like where their bodies are being dumped? So we
I have-
establish if there's a perimeter or
I do,
you know.
but it's got some notes on it that I don't want you to see, so we're almost at the end of the session. I'll have that ready for next time. So I'll take a photo of the
Right. Okay.
no problem, Hugh.
Feel better.
Yeah, we're going to be finished soon anyway. But the so the map, I'll just show you the normal layout of Pahrump, and I'll mark on there the locations. Wow, a double yawn. I looked just up just in time to see that. I saw it in stereo from Red and Asper. I thought my investigative scenarios would be more entertaining.
It's getting late here.
We're an hour
I'm
ahead.
an hour ahead of you.
Yeah, I know. Which is why I said we'll be finishing soon. So, have you got everything you need from that one? That is the dumping ground where her body was found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, vacuum cleaner. Old one.
So 5, you knew the location of. Also, I forgot to mention, because I didn't write it down, the coroner report also lists any cyberware that they've got as well, which is negligible stuff for the most part, mostly cosmetic stuff. Esmeralda had IR implants, which is why her eyes are red in the photo.
For red implants.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense in that she was a night taxi cab driver in a rough area. So
What is a moving violation?
It's like a speeding ticket or failure to signal and change lanes.
Oh,
yeah, or a failing to stop at a stop sign, or but it's like a generic, like a fixed penalty thing.
Yeah.
Lady V.
Lady V.
This has made me want to go to the local dump and scavenge.
You want to go do some loot rolls now, don't you, Cap?
Yeah. It's all good fun.
Yeah. Well, not for Esmeralda so much.
Or Esmeralda. Okay, so once we establish...
Sorry, Captain Flipstick. Grim Captain, who's one of the players, is also called Cap.
Once we establish the locations on the grid, we might be able to break it down.
I mean, you've got access to the the general map on the data terminal that you're using in the club, and you've got the GPS coordinates, so it doesn't take you long to look them up. They're all in the flux, obviously. Right. Flipstick on. Okay. I like that.
Lipstick's cool.
Yeah, lipstick. Sorry, Flipstick. That's childish.
And Sheriff Ricks is the lead investigator on all of these.
Yeah.
We can catch him at the Jelly Donut store, I'm sure.
Probably.
Kidnap him.
I have a photo of him.
Kidnap him. He was supposed to be the pacifist.
Because you've seen it in the newspaper article. So that's Colton Ricks.
Yeah, he deserves a talking to.
A talking to.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of person wears a cowboy hat without a hat band?
Not matching to his uniform at all.
At this point is where I was expecting you to get to before the end of the night. So we've done everything for this part.
Except catch the guy or a gal. It could be a female. Could be a female.
You never know.
Could be taking out those, issues on other females.
So, do you want me to make a note of what you do know so far?
Yes.
Yes.
And they really like liver. Jeez. We
So
should find
what
out
do you
if
know?
there's-
All female victims. They range in age at the point that they died from between 16 and I think 32 was the oldest one. Victim 3. Let's just
Head
work it
livers
out.
removed.
48, 58, 68, 29 was the oldest victim. So aged between 16 and 29. All had livers removed surgically. All decapitated, which is listed as the cause of death on all of the coroner's reports.
Would be.
Approximately 3 months apart for each victim.
All
Quarter.
killed at night, but different times from the
Yep.
estimated time of death.
That's right. But at different times. Is there anything else you want me to write down for you?
Missing. Yeah, livers removed. 3 were clean. 2 were one
They were
was
all clean.
recreational.
Except one.
No, they 3 were clean. 1 used recreational drugs and 1 used pain away.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Right. 3 victims clean. 1 was an obvious drug user. 1 just had painkillers in her system.
Most of them had at least, some run-in with the law.
No, a couple of them have clean
No.
records.
Well, I mean, moving violations do count.
Victim 4,
Oh, yeah.
victim 2 were both had clean records.
Yeah.
Okay. So
3
there's no
victims
correlation there.
had.
What time of night did they go missing?
Well, they
Between
were
like
killed
9
between
p.m.
9 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We'll see you later, Captain. Flipside.
What the
When
the report doesn't tell you is when they went missing, but it does tell you their estimated time of death, which is what you've got in front of you. That's the ETOD. So they know roughly when they died. They don't know how long they were missing for. Or at least if they do, it's not in this report. That would be in the police report that was locked.
Floppy.
And they were all dumped somewhere where not many people were.
Yeah, okay. All dumped in remote locations. Would you say that's accurate? Remote
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah.
We don't have, like, last seen. Like, they were last seen in this area.
No, it's not in this report.
All right. We got to get that report. And if it means...
Definitely, Pew. We've got to where we need to for tonight. Good job you sticking with it this long, hun. Go get some rest.
Have a good night, Pew.
Have a good night. Feel
And
better.
heal quickly.
Okay. Any other correlations, any other or questions that you want me to put down that you need to answer next? Those are all stuff that you've established. So that's information you have.
What we need to figure out is where were they killed? Because they were obviously not killed where they were found.
Correct. Not enough blood in any of the locations.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll put that in your known. No. None of the victims were killed where they were found. Okay. So where were they killed? That's a question.
And yeah, why were their livers removed?
Liver and onions. Forget a cannibal.
Wow. that could just be one of those serial killer takes
Well,
seemingly random body part for
it could, al-
memory.
it could also be that they're selling them. You know,
Yeah.
we got to find out if there's any like rise in something like hepatitis or
Organ-
something. You know,
Mhm.
whatever.
Organ black
If it was
markets.
organ sellers, why only take the livers?
Well,
If you are at it anyway.
well, that's the thing, is there might be something very specific that livers are
Mhm.
needed and other things aren't. You know, like maybe they're developing something that uses female liver secretions. For God, I don't know. Damn it, I'm not a real doctor. I just play one in this game. You know, so you know, there's a lot of questions, but you know, doing the standard checklist of what isn't possible is as helpful as doing what is possible.
Well, knowing what questions to ask helps in trying to find the
Yeah.
answers. So,
Right. And is there a way that we can actually find these the next of kin? Find out if there's any correlation between the three, like if they all went to the same, you know,
yeah,
game
but
store.
you'd have to figure out how to, or buy that information from Ralphie. So
Right.
you've got the names, which means he could find where they are for you easily enough. It would just cost you again. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, Ralphie's going to meet somebody in the back alley if he keeps robbing us for information.
That's what he trades. So, but if they're publicly listed for any reason, you could also find them in the public directories potentially. But I'll make a note of that. Can we locate the next of kin of each of the Sims?
This is fun.
I thought you were asleep for half of it, Cap. I thought
No,
there's
I'm
nothing for you to
listening.
shoot. You're falling asleep.
Well, I mean, really, it's just like everybody had good ideas. I couldn't contribute, so I was just like, oh, okay, I'll just stand back and throw cards when needed. So basically, you know, all we got to do is find this guy. Who says that we should remove his liver or her liver while they're still alive? Because that's in the contract.
You're the medical person, so I'll leave
You
that
could
up
do
to
it.
you to do.
Let them experience what the
Wait.
person would experience.
The way I read it, where they first decapitated, then the liver was removed, or the
Correct.
other way around?
They were killed by the decapitation, and the liver removal was post-mortem.
Yeah.
Cap.
So the liver wasn't taken out while they were still alive?
No.
Cap,
So they
make a
had a
medicine
quick
roll.
death.
Make a
Yeah,
what?
it would have been over instantly. They might not have even seen it coming.
Right, which is why there may be something to the decapitation and no blood, because we don't know if the wound was cauterized. That, you know, the decapitation wound.
Yeah,
So there wouldn't be any blood.
It had been sealed.
What was I supposed to be rolling for?
Medicine.
Medical.
Ha. Let's see.
Re-roll it, maybe?
Yeah, so, which is why, I did forget to mention that. The wound was cauterized as it was made, but there are only 3 weapons known to do that. Electronic katanas, flick sides, monofilament wires, monofilament whips.
Okay.
They all use electricity or heat to give them an extremely sharp cut, but that heat also generally seals whatever it cuts.
And not a lot of blood.
Yeah. Was that a pass, Cap?
Yep.
Okay. According to, it doesn't say explicitly in the report, but from your specialist knowledge, it's possible the decapitation was done in such a way as to keep the liver in as pristine a condition as possible. as long as the removal was quick. So it's such a shock to the system, the body wouldn't have worked out it was dead before the liver had been removed.
Right, because like it takes, even if you kill someone it's instant, right? You can still harvest an organ, certain organs, within a time frame.
Yeah.
Like 7 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't say for definite that's why the method of kill has been picked, but they do correlate. From your medical perspective, it would be a reason why potentially this particular method of murder would have been picked.
And it doesn't say if their hair was cut, during the strike, like a heated weapon would just slice through the hair as well, give them a nice haircut when they got a trim.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of missing information, but it's pertinent.
Yeah.
Like if this guy's like prowling and wanting to get, he's got a lot to do. He's got to find the victim, right? Make sure there's no one around to see. Decapitate them. Put their asses in a trunk of a car, van, whatever. Remove the kidney and then dump the body.
Yeah.
Or remove the liver and dump the body. So that's where we got to establish where his hunting circle is, so to speak.
Yeah.
But he could be smart. He could be in the town that we came from. He just shows up every 3 months, once out of a blue moon. You know what I mean?
With the taxi driver that you kill, they bring their own transportation with them.
Yep.
It's definitely a hard case, Scooby-Doo. And I have an alibi. I was getting shot at.
Okay.
And I don't have a katana.
If that's all the things you want me to put in these notes, I'm going to copy these straight into the chat for the RPG chat.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
You can all see them. There we go.
And if we think of anything else, we can always add.
And yeah. And what I might do is create another text channel called live RPG info or something, and put the things like the stats and the game specific info in there, so it doesn't get lost in the "Are you available tonight?" kind of chat.
Okay.
You can always delete
Pin
the
it.
stuff so it doesn't get out of control. After we've solved the mystery.
Okay, so I'll do that tomorrow. I'll create a new channel and I'll put the the news article and the victim reports. I'll put them in there for you, and the victim photos and stuff, so you can have it all in one place.
Okay.
What was
Sounds good.
Did that name?
Yep.
It was Redandthewolfdesigns with a heated butter knife. Bowling alley.
It was the butler. It was
a year ago I
Jeeves.
was still in Sin City. It can't have been me.
Yeah.
We're not watching you.
Yeah,
all
thanks,
the time.
Pew. Thank you for struggling through, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Pew. I hope you feel better.
I think, and of course I know, but I think what happened was they accidentally brutally cut their head off while combing their hair.
You got to pay attention.
like
Get your head
Blackadder.
out of
Yeah, it
your
was completely
phone.
accidentally
It was,
brutally stabbed themselves 9 times while shaving.
See, that's why the vacuum cleaner was a big hint. They were walking, checking their phone, walked into a hot razor wire, fell onto a sharp object that was connected to the vacuum that sucked the kidney or liver out, and then it was just attached to a drone. Yeah, that's the ticket. We solved it. It was all accidental. Give us our money.
All of them.
You gotta read those construction signs, man. Can't walk around with your nose in the phone.
I have to say, it's been ages since I've written an investigative one, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm liking where it's going.
Yeah, it's fun.
Everybody's doing really well. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, it's 50-50 crapshoot that you guys would catch me in a crime if I committed one.
So thank you for playing. So thank you, Red. Thank you, Asper. Thank you, Cap. Obviously, no thanks to Polly because she pissed off. Thank you, thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. All right. So let's call it. I'm just gonna. I can't be asked to look for a raid victim, so I'm gonna raid Dave just because I can. Actually, I'm gonna go to Mia because Mia's on, and she's raided me before, so we'll do that. So I'm gonna raid Mia, and we'll go to the ending screen. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next time.
And there we go. We're out.
Yeah, we might just have to like set up a patsy, you know.
Just so you can get the money.
Well,
Right.
no, a trap where we're all on rooftops with rifles ready to shoot somebody that approaches.
You know that means Red has to. I was going to say she hasn't got a rifle. That's going to put Red in the thick of it. All right, guys. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I shall speak to you in the week.
Yes.
Love this game.
See you later, guys.
We'll see you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.